The fitness industry is basically built for men with nothing else on. That's not you. You got a diary full of meetings, client dinners a few nights a week, and a family that wants you home at 7. Almost everything you've been told about training was written for a life you don't actually live. And today, we fix that. This is part 3 of 6, the Atlas method, and today is pillar 2, train. If you missed parts 1 and 2, the links are below. Start with 1. If you're new here and you don't know who I am, I'm Harry Johnson. I've got a master's degree in strength and conditioning, and I spent over a decade and a half as a strength and conditioning coach. Firstly in pro sports, and then training founders and execs on the gym floor in central London. So the people this is aimed at, I've worked with a lot of them. In this one, the 4-hour-a-week template that genuinely fits a calendar like yours. The way of eating that survives restaurants and travel, the protein number nearly every man over 30 gets wrong, and the truth about fasting. What the evidence actually says versus what the biohackers are selling. Now, first things first, and I'll only say it once. This is education. It's not medical advice. I'm a performance coach, not your doctor. Nothing here is a diagnosis or a treatment. Anything you want to act on, run it past a proper doctor first. Atlas works alongside your medical team and never instead of it. Right, this is the same protocol I run with every single guy at Atlas. Let's take Thomas, early 40s, divorced, dad, and this is the bit I like, he's not starting from zero. He'd always tried to stay active. He ran, played tennis, hit the gym, but most of it was pretty random. He kept getting injured lifting, kept getting winded on the tennis court he used to walk, and his words for what was going on, I was not lazy, I just did not have a clear system. A couple of years in now, he's stronger, fitter, leaner, injury-free, and playing the best tennis he's played in a decade. And the way he puts it, I'm no longer guessing. I've got structure, I understand what I'm doing and why. By the end of this, you'll have the actual template I write for guys coming into Atlas. Adjusted, obviously, off the blood work from pillar 1. 4 hours a week, built around your real life. No 6-day bodybuilding splits designed for a 20-year-old, and no 5 a.m. workouts you'll quietly quit by week 3. And none of the just eat clean and move more. Stuff that breaks the first time a steak dinner lands in your diary, or you can't leave your office desk. But let me clear one thing up. You're not lazy, but you're not too busy either. You found 4 hours a week for a box set you can barely remember. You just never made your own body a priority. What you've actually never had is a system built for the life you live. The advice online is written for a 25-year-old with no job, no family, and no worries. Most programs are built for 22-year-olds on a cutting cycle and then sold to a 45-year-old with a mortgage. And then everyone's surprised when you fall off. So you're wondering, what does a real training week look like for a guy with 3 kids and 10 meetings on a Tuesday? Or what do I eat at a steakhouse with a client at 9 at night? And is fasting actually doing anything for me? Should I even be doing cardio? And that's what we're closing off today. Now, Brian Johnson put a number out recently. I'll play it.
I lift every single day. I aim for 6 hours of exercise per week, 3 sessions of cardio, and 3 for strength. I don't do cardio. It screws up the gains. I do 150 minutes of zone 2 cardio and 75 minutes of vigorous exercise, including HIIT and sprints. Research shows the combination of these can lower your risk of death by up to 42%. I only do resistance training, man. I incorporate mobility, balance, and flexibility movements into my weekly protocol to keep my body injury-free. I get in late night when the gym is empty. I avoid moderate to high intensity exercise within 4 hours of bedtime because it can negatively impact sleep and recovery.
The gist, a weekly mix of zone 2 cardio and some harder, vigorous work meaningfully lowers your risk of dying early. That sounds pretty good to me. And the underlying point's solid. Easy aerobic work plus a bit of proper hard work has about the strongest mortality data of anything we've got. And almost no high performer over 30 is hitting either side of that, let alone both. So here's the floor. 4 hours. 2 zone 2 sessions. 30 to 45 minutes. Easy enough that you could hold a conversation. Incline treadmill, bike, rower, brisk walk. It doesn't matter which. This builds your aerobic base, and your base is basically your VO2 max over time. 1 harder interval session, something like 4 minutes hard, 4 minutes easy, a few rounds. Sounds like Norwegians, sounds disgusting. And that's where the top end comes from, 30 minutes per week. And 2 to 3 strength sessions, heavy compound lifting, getting a bit stronger over time. 45 minutes per session, max. Now, roughly 4 hours if you're tight. 6 if you've got it. Either way, it's under 2% of your week. The 4 hours gives you the stimulus, and the other 23 are actually what brings the results, which is exactly why the next pillar exists. Now, food. And it's a pattern, not a diet. Protein first, roughly a gram per pound of lean mass spread equally across 3 to 4 meals. Most men over 30 eat about half what they need and then wonder why they're soft, tired, and not building muscle. And that's without looking at your gut microbiome. A lot of what looks like aging is a 40-something is just years of not enough protein. Then the 3 p.m. lever, 30 to 50 grams of protein mid-afternoon, fixes the back half of your day and kills the 9 p.m. raid on the cupboards. And the 80-20 if needed, 80% of the time minimally processed, eggs, meat, fish, veg, fruit, dairy, beans. The other 20% leaves room for travel, restaurants, and a bit of a life. It's built to work around the client dinners and the family meal, not fight them. A plan you can't run at a restaurant isn't a plan. It's a test and you'll fail. We encourage that when you can, you do. You hold the emotional control over your food. Which brings us on to fasting quickly, because you've been sold a lot of nonsense here. A 14 to 18 hour overnight fast most days, good. And this is a solid rule for something I encourage with my guys. 24-hour plus fast twice a week to biohack. And that's one of the quick ways to tank your testosterone in your 40s while feeling like a monk who's winning. Most of the benefits is in the first 14 to 16 hours. After that, it's diminishing returns and rising costs. If you want to believe that the biohacking bro science and tell yourself you're doing something good, go for it. If it means you can't leave the house or go to the gym because you have no strength or willpower, maybe you need to reassess. At Atlas, we call this the Atlas Performance Protocol. We customize it off your blood work from pillar 1, your gut data, and if we run a glucose monitor, what your blood sugar actually did to real meals. High inflammation, we shift the protein sources. Low ferritin, we shift the lifting frequency. Fasting insulin up, we shift the carb timing. The plan sits downstream of your data, not a template off the internet with your name typed on top. Now, skip this pillar and here's what actually happens. Another year of random training around a body whose data you've never seen. You lose a bit more muscle and a bit more aerobic capacity, and that's the stuff that decides what you can do at 70. The structure isn't optional. The only optional bit is making it fit your life, and that's the part we handle. If you want a training and nutrition system built around your blood work and your gut data, message me apply on the link below and we'll book a quick call to look at where you're actually at. In the next video, pillar 3, track. 23 hours, nobody's watching, and why your wearable is useless without somebody reading it. That's part 3. I'll see you there.